Hello, and welcome back to the channel. We're continuing on with our countdown to Christmas, and we're now on the 7th of December, so 1 week into the month. I hope you're all getting on with your Christmas shopping, because it's not long now before the big day. And we're pitting up a unit from the Necron Codex, going up against a unit from the Space Marine Codex, and comparing some basic topics in a light-hearted manner. Now, this is not by any means competitive, this is just a bit of fun throughout the holiday season. So it's a simple concept: what would you pick? And you're either Team Necrons or Team Space Marines. Now, a little spoiler here, currently the scores are tied at 3 apiece, so let's see which team can come out on top after this video. So today we're going to be comparing the Royal Warden and the Marine Judiciar. Both very similar in terms of their abilities, and that's why they're going up against each other. Now, the Royal Warden is 75 points, whereas the Judiciar is 85 points, which is a slightly bit more expensive by 10 points, but very similar overall. So let's begin comparing the stats. They have similar-ish stats, but the strength and toughness is slightly better on the Royal Warden of strength and toughness 5. It's got 1 less wound and 1 less attack, and the Judiciar will hit on 2s in combat with a weapon skill value of a 2+, whereas the Royal Warden doesn't really want to be in combat because he doesn't have a combat weapon. But overall for the stats, I think I definitely prefer the Judiciar's stat line. Just the extra wound and extra attack there, slightly winning that one for me. Now, as for the abilities, the Royal Warden's got the adaptive strategy ability. That's the real reason why you're taking him. So in the command phase, on a dynasty core unit within 9 inches of the model, they're eligible to shoot and declare a charge in the turn that they actually fell back. Now, this was previously only really used on Necron warriors, but now they've got so many more core units within the codex with the update we've recently had. So you've got Locust Heavy Destroyers, for example. Even your Scorpion Destroyers can fall back and then declare a charge, so that they're going to be fighting first. So a very strong ability to have. Now, as for the Judiciar, he's got the Temper Mortis ability. So done in the fight phase, you select one enemy unit within 3 inches of the Judiciar, and that unit is not eligible to fight this phase until all eligible units from your army have done so. So there is a few strengths and weaknesses within this ability. First of all, it's going to be within 3 inches, so it's pretty much going to be within that fight in order to use it. But on the plus side, your opponent cannot be using the stratagem to interrupt in the fight phase, because they're not eligible to be selected until all other units in your army have done so. So they can't be interrupting for 2 command points there. But notice that with the Royal Warden, it only works with core units, whereas the Judiciar's ability doesn't actually work on friendly units, it works on an enemy unit, so therefore it could benefit all units, not just core units within his own army. But overall, I think the Royal Warden's ability is slightly stronger because it's got a 9-inch range for starters, and it also affects the shooting phase as well as the fight phase, because they can declare a charge, or they can shoot, or do both in fact, if they can do both. So I think I'm going to be giving that point to the Royal Warden, although it is very close. As for damage output, well, the Royal Warden's got the Relic Gorse Blaster, 30-inch range, rapid fire 2, strength 5, -2 AP, 2 damage. Pretty decent range as well. And furthermore, if you're taking that relic, the Conduit of Stars, which is his personal relic, which goes up to 39-inch range because of the Mefrit Dynasty that it will be taken. Because it's a Mefrit relic, you have to be playing the Mefrit Dynasty. It's rapid fire 3, so very likely taking 6 shots from that. Strength 6, -2 AP and 2 damage. Plenty of shots, decent amount of strength, AP and damage is there too. Now, as for the Marine Judiciar, he's got a range attack as well as a melee attack. He's got the Azalba Bolt Pistol, which is 18-inch range, pistol 1, strength 5, -1 AP and 2 damage. Pretty decent range as far as pistols go, and can be fired into combat as well, and 2 damage is pretty nice on top of that. Now, the Executioner Relic Blade goes up to strength 7 because he starts at strength 4, -3 AP and 2 damage again. But any unmodified wound rolls of a 6 will score a mortal wound on top of the damage. That's pretty decent. Now, in melee alone, if he was going up against Marine Intercessors, he'll likely kill 2 Marine Intercessors, and going up against Guardians, he'll take away 3 of them. Now, that's without even buffing him. For example, if you gave him the Warlord trait, the Imperium Sword, he can reroll his charge roll. And also, on the charge, he'll be adding 1 to his strength and attacks characteristics, so this will now be a strength 8 weapon. Then he'll have 6 attacks on the charge, once you add shock assault on top of that. So instead of being able to remove 2 intercessors, it will now go up to 3 intercessors, and the Guardians, you'll get an additional Guardian there, removing 4 of them. And then furthermore, you can exchange his Azalba Bolt Pistol as well for a Relic Purgatorus, which is now a 3-shot pistol. The strength is the same, the AP goes up to -3 AP, and the damage stays at 2, but that's definitely going to be taking a few models off the board each and every turn. And again, can be fired into combat if you're still fighting. So for me, the Marine Judiciar definitely has the better damage output, so he's going to get that point. Now, as for the Resiliency, this one's a little bit more tougher because the Royal Warden's got toughness 5, whereas the Judiciar's only got toughness 4. But the Judiciar has the 4+ invulnerable save, whereas the Royal Warden doesn't have an invuln save at all, but he does have living metal, so he does regain a lost wound at the start of the turn, although the Judiciar has an extra wound to start with. So I think I'm going to just about give it to the Judiciar on this occasion. It's very close, but the Judiciar's going to take it. And then the last topic today is the synergy. Now, the Royal Warden of course used to synergize with lots of warriors, bringing 20-man warrior blobs out of engagement range so that they can still be firing their Ghost Reapers. But now there's so many more core units within the game. As mentioned, you've got the Locust Destroyers, Heavy Locust Destroyers, Scorpec Destroyers, there's plenty more there. So there's a lot more synergy since that update. You can also synergize with relics and warlord traits. For example, the Veil of Darkness relic can be used on core units. Go to the other side of the battle, make the charge move, get them to fall back and recharge so that they're fighting first. And if he's taking the warlord trait Thrall of the Silent King, then his adaptive strategy is going to go up to 12 inches as opposed to 9 inches. Once you're talking about dynasties, there's 3 in particular that I quite like with the Royal Warden. One is with the Saltec dynasty, so that he can do his rapid fire within 18-inch range as opposed to 15-inch range with his relic Ghost Blaster. If you're taking the Mephric code, you're just going to add 3 inches to his range attacks. And if it's half range, you're going to get an extra -1 AP. And of course, that relic, the Conduit of Stars, is available for that dynasty. And also the Novak dynasty, which wasn't really associated with him before the core update. But now that there's so many melee core units available that can be falling out of combat and recharging with the Royal Warden nearby, it means the Royal Warden is going to be much more useful in this dynasty. But they're the 3 that I'd probably go with for a Royal Warden. Now, when you're talking about synergy with the Marine Judiciar, you're talking about all the assault units such as your Terminator Assault Squad, your Assault Intercessor Squad, your Blade Guard Veterans. He's going to simply tag along with one of those units and ensure that they're always fighting first in that particular fight so that you're not losing any models unnecessarily. In terms of the chapters, you've got Blood Angels, you've got Black Templars, Space Wolves, and even the Deathwing. He's going to be useful on all those kind of chapters because they're primarily focused on getting into engagement range and having a punch up. So for me, that point's going to also go to the Judiciar. So all in all, I've scored this 4 points to 1 in favour of the Marine Judiciar. The Royal Warden is quite useful and he's got even more useful since the core update. But I think there's other HQs within the codex that have got even more useful, such as the Technomancer, for example. Even the Scorpic Lord now has a lot more uses, so the Royal Warden has slightly been put down the ranks in my opinion, but he's still very useful. So that puts the scores in favour of Team Space Marines 4 points to 3. So guys, we're going to be out tomorrow with another video for our countdown to Christmas. It will be the 8th of December tomorrow. Hopefully we'll see you all there. Don't forget to subscribe and like on your way out. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.